Hey guys, we're here at Hard Labor Creek State Park in Morgan County, Georgia. For those of you who don't know, this was the film location for Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives. I'm not a huge horror fan, so this is all Nick's doing. But I was forced to watch every single Friday the 13th movie, and since it's October, we figured we'd do a Halloween themed video like we did last year with the Doll's Head Trail. But I do know right behind me is the iconic Crytal Lake, and across the lake is Camp Crytal Lake. We're hopefully going to be able to check out the camp, so let's get going. We are about to hit Brantley Nature Trail, which is a 1 mile loop, and it leads into Beaver Pond Nature Trail, which is another 1 mile loop. Those are the two nature trails that the park has, but there are tons of bike trails and equestrian trails that are miles long. The longest equestrian trail is about 24 miles long. But we're going to go hit these nature trails and see what this park has to offer. So, this park came into being during the Great Depression. That was when the National Park Service was reclaiming farmland and turning it into recreation areas, and this is one of the areas that they turned into recreation. The CCC had a major part in land stabilization and construction, just like with a bunch of our other state parks. They planted trees, built roads, cleared lake beds, did all that stuff. And then in 1946, the National Park Service gave the land back to the state of Georgia, and that's when it became a state park that we know today.
There's this one scene in the movie, walking through these woods, like brought it back to my memory, but there's a bunch of people out in the woods playing paintball, and they're on a business trip, and Jason shows up and he murders all of them out in the woods while they're playing paintball. Like some of the craziest death scenes in the Friday the 13th series happens in Jason Lives. Like they really tried to get out there with that movie. They did a lot of stuff, like changed it up. That's when he becomes zombie Jason. He's like resurrected from the dead, and the lightning brings him back, and that's basically when he becomes superhuman Jason. But the one cheesiest death in the whole franchise, he throws a dude through a branch and his face hits a smiley face. It'd be like this right here. This is a perfect example. It'd be like Jason picking you up, taking you and throwing you into a branch, and when his face hits, it hits like that, and he goes off to the side, and it's like a smiley face carved into the tree with blood on it. It was so it was the worst death scene in the entire franchise.
So that was Beaver Pond.
Look at that dude!
Oh my gosh!
Alright. Just sit. Look at him. Just sitting right there.
Hello, dear.
Hey, buddy. Where were we?
Beaver Pond Nature Trail and the other one.
That deer just wiped our memory.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But those were the nature trails. They're both a mile loop. And we're going to go see if we can find Camp Crytal Lake, see if we can go see that.
It's been about a week and a half since we came, and Rachel sadly couldn't make it today, but they wouldn't let us in the other day. There was someone occupying the camp. Apparently you can rent it for $500. I think there was a group of Friday the 13th fans renting it out. And so I'm here a week and a half later. The gate's right in front of me and we're about to go in. I've made it down to the camp, and it's probably about maybe a mile drive past that gate. If you ever want to come up here, you need a key, and you can't just come back here. It's off limits. So if you want to come back here and check out this place, make sure you call ahead of time, because apparently this place is pretty busy. They rent it out a good bit. If I had a big group of friends, I would consider renting this place out and staying here for a night. It'd be pretty cool. That would be interested in renting it out with me. I probably wouldn't pay $500 to come stay here, but if a bunch of people came, who knows. But do you recognize the building behind me? That building right there is the one building. Well, there's 2 or 3 different buildings in the film that are back here. That one is one of the main ones. It's where the actual children stayed in the movie, and that's where they slept, and the camp counselors kept them there. At one point, I think Jason knocked out a few of the windows, maybe kicked off the door. But there's a scene in there where all the kids are huddled in the back of the cabin. Alright, so right behind me, right there is where the camp counselors stayed in the movies. There's little scenes throughout the movie, a couple little cutaways to where they're in here, but this is where they were. Let's check out this fireplace. But I'll try to match the shots, like insert the clips and see if I can find them. If not, I mean, if you're a fan of the movie, you know what this is. Alright, so behind me is the building I was looking for. That is the kitchen and the mess hall and everything that you see in the movie. But all the doors are locked, so I can't get in that one. I'm gonna see if I can get a decent shot through the windows. You can't really see with the camera through the window, but basically that shot I was talking about is them sitting on this counter along this windowsill here, and it's an over the shoulder shot, and if the camera would be facing over their shoulder, and all it's going to be doing is basically looking out to the parking lot. School bus pulls up and the camp counselors walk outside to greet the children. Like I mentioned before, I'm not a huge fan of this one, like this movie in particular, but I can't pass up on an opportunity to see this film location. I love the series. I love the character of Jason. I love all the goofiness of like 80s slasher films. I had to come see it and check it out. It did try new things, so you can't really knock them for that. And if I was going to skip over any movie in the series, it would not have been this one. It would be A New Beginning Part 5. Like, they led us to believe that Jason was dead in Part 4. And, you know, in Part 5, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it, skip this part. Could you imagine in Part 5 if that paramedic continued to be the killer in the Friday the 13th series? I have no doubt in my mind that the movie franchise would not be the same it is today, and it wouldn't be as good as it is today. Everybody appreciates these movies because it captured something of the 80s, like the perfect nostalgia of the 80s. I was born in '89, so I missed all the good ones, but I grew up watching these movies, and I'm a huge fan of them. So let's go down here and check out where Jason actually does the final battle with Tommy Jarvis. Alright, so we made it to the actual Crytal Lake, and I gotta say it's pretty awesome. It's pretty neat to see. I always wanted to go to the actual original film location for the first movie, but this will have to do for now. If you know anything about the movie, Jason died somewhere right out here in this deeper part of the water. Well, died. But so right here would have been where, right up in there was where he killed the cop, and then Tommy would have grabbed a canoe from right in here and like loaded it up with the rock. He would be getting a boulder, getting a chain around the boulder, so here in a little bit, and later on in the movie towards the end, he could tie it around Jason's neck and sink him right out there, and then tear his face apart with a boat motor. All right, so I'm about ready to get out of here. Been walking around out here for 2 hours, living in the 80s, living in one of my favorite slasher films. It was fun, and it's starting to heat up out here in Georgia. It was Georgia tricky. I put on this flannel, and it is hot now. I'm ready to leave. So I had a great time out here. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This is one of my favorite, slasher film franchises. I'm a huge horror fan. I love the Friday the 13th series, so this was awesome to come out here. It's a pleasure just to walk around and, like I was hopping in a time machine going back to the 80s and just living in a horror film. It was really fun. I'd like to know also, what's your favorite film in the franchise? Let me know in the comments below. I'd really like to know. We can talk about it if you're a fan. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like, comment, subscribe. Make sure to hit that notification bell. We'll see you next time.